Hello and welcome to this video. This is PowerPoint 4. We're going to log into the SAM website and switch from the calendar to the activity list view and find the PowerPoint 4 project. We have 5 attempts. You're allowed 5 attempts per project. We're going to go through our first attempt here. We have the instruction file, our start file, and 3 support files: a video, a PPTX, will give us I believe a theme, and then a picture file. So let's get the instruction file, save that to our machine and open it up. I'm going to remove the protected view yellow bar at the top by enable editing. And my standard instructions are to download the start file, save it with an _2 instead of an _1, get the support files. I'll do those as we do the steps, and then make sure that your name appears on the bottom of the presenter notes on the first slide. So let's go ahead and go back to the browser and get the start file, PPT16 _2A NP, PPT16 _2A your name _1. So I'm going to save this to the local machine, open it up. Again, a protected view. I'm going to enable editing to remove the yellow bar protected view across the top. And here's my file. It does have my name in the title, _1. It does have file created specifically for Big Red. That'd be your name. Okay, so save as. We'll save it to the desktop. I always like to know where I'm saving my files at so I can submit them later. I always save them to the desktop. So saving to the desktop with an _2 instead of an _1. I know where this file is when I'm ready to submit it here in just a few minutes. Let's go back to our instruction document and step through, back to our instruction document and work through this project together. You're developing a presentation for people interested in opening an avid vintage franchise furniture store. Start by applying the custom theme from the file support, the support file from the website, NP PowerPoint2016 2A Avid PPTX, available for download from the SAM website. So first let's grab that file. So here on our support files is the PPTX. Make sure you save it, don't open it. Save it to your desktop or to your machine. Mine always saves in my browser default setting is in the downloads folder. So I'll know that file I'm looking for is here in downloads, the Avid PPTX. Going back to my instructions document, what this is going to do is it's going to apply a new theme. Now let me just say something about themes real quick. Themes are here under the Design tab. You can have some pre-built themes. What they do is they change the look and feel. And we can see that this home page, this first slide, is pretty generic, and the other slides are reasonably as well. That's going to change when we do our theme. So if I did this theme or this theme or this theme or this theme, it would change the look and feel. But what it also changes is the fonts and the colors. So let's go ahead and see this here. So just to look at this is worth pointing out here if you want to know what themes are. By default, if I look, the theme fonts for this start file are Calibri Light and Calibri for the heading and for the body. And then everything else are the fixed fonts in alphabetical order. And the colors, the theme colors are white and black and gray. And then we have a foreground and a background, white as a background and black as a foreground 1. And then we have gray as a background 2 and a bluish gray as text 2. And then we have 6 accents. Blue is an accent, orange is an accent, and so on. Yellow is an accent 4, and accent 6 in this case is green. All those change when we change our themes. So let's do this step. Let's change the theme to be this Avid. Now I've already downloaded it from the site, so I'm now ready to just apply a new theme. And I don't want to use these pre-built themes. I want to get it from the site. So I go on the more information, the drop down there in the bottom right, the more. And clicking on this bottom right more, it pops this windows up. I see even more themes to choose from, but I have browse for themes, and that's what I want to do. I'm going to click browse for themes. I'm going to browse to the downloads because that's where the files are for this, and I'm going to find that Avid PPTX support file. I'm going to click that and apply it, and notice that my themes change. In addition, if I go into the Home tab, I'll know that my colors change. My theme colors are not what we had before. That's part of the idea of the themes. And my default fonts changed to Garamond, or however you pronounce it. In Monty Python outrageous French accent, it would be Garamond, but I'm not sure the correct way to pronounce it there. So that's what a theme does for us, and that's nice. Gives you a consistent look and feel for your entire presentation. Step 2, insert a footer as follows. Include the date and time, footer text, and display it a certain way. So where do we get our footers? Well, footers are on the insert. We have headers and footers in the text area. So I click on headers and footers in the text area, and I can see that I have some header and footer options, including date and time, which our instructions said to use the date and time updated automatically, to include footer text. So I click on that text box, and then I can type in the footer text here, and don't show on the title slide. And I don't want this on the title slide. So going back to our instructions, include the date and time, enter this text, Avid Vintage. I'm going to right click that and copy it, and then paste it over here. And it says to don't show on the title slide. So we've done that, and we'll apply this to all. Quick check of this, if I select slide 2, I'll see the date and the text there, and slide 3 it's got it as well, but we said not to do it on slide 1, and we see that the date and footer text does not appear on slide 1. Next step, slide 3. On slide 2, it should have the title All About Avid Vintage. And confirm that that's the case. Title 2, All About Avid Vintage. Good. Use the content placeholder on the right to insert the support file furniture.png available from the website. So let me go ahead and grab that support file now, furniture.png. We'll download this from the site. Make sure you save it. Don't open it in your browser. And I know that this opened up in my downloads folder. So the file furniture, the support file, is in the downloads folder. So now my instructions say to place that in the content placeholder on the right. So here's my content placeholder on the right. Here's the lower left of these little hint areas is the pictures. So I'm going to select the picture. I'm going to browse to my downloads right there. And then I'm going to get the download file that we're doing for this one, which was the furniture. I think it was the furniture. Yes, furniture, just making sure. Support PP2A furniture, okay. Next step, step 4. With slide 2 still displaying, add an animation to the bulleted list as follows. Apply the float in entrance animation and change the direction to float down. So on this text, I'm going to select all this text, and I'm going to do an animation. So here in the animation pane tab on the ribbon, I want to find the float in option. And if I don't see it on the list, again, you would click the more button to see more options. But I see the float in is right there, so I select float in. And as you see that effect, you see it kind of floats from the bottom up. And here to the right, it tells us the effects option. I want it to float down according to our instructions. And notice that when I select it, it is floating down. Slide 5, or step 5. On slide 3, competitive advantage, insert and format a shape as follows. To the right of the bulleted list, insert a teardrop shape and then do things to it. So slide 3, competitive advantage, insert a teardrop shape. Slide 3, competitive advantages, good. Insert the shape, teardrop. So let me go under the Insert tab and come over here to Shapes in the illustrations. And if I pull the down arrow there, I can see all of our shapes. And I have to find the teardrop shape. Now I happen to remember this is in the Basic Shapes area. And inside the Basic Shapes, I'm looking for something that looks kind of like a teardrop. And I believe that's it right there. And it is. And then I paint the teardrop onto my window, onto my slide. Resize it to be 2.25 inches wide and 2.25 inches tall. Selecting the shape, the teardrop shape, adds the Format tab in the ribbon. And selecting on that Format tab, at the rightmost I have a size option. And I got close when I drew it, but I want to make it specifically 2.25. Now I can't do 2.25 with the up and down arrows, so I have to manually edit this to say 2.25 and press enter. You don't have to put the double quotes for the inches versus feet. If you just type 2.25, it'll add in the extension for you, the little double lines, which means inches. Add the text in home consulting for local customers to the shape as text for the shape. So I'm going to copy that. Right click on the teardrop shape and say edit text, and I can just paste that in there. In home consulting for local customers. Flip the shape horizontally. So again, with the shape selected in the Format tab, you will see a Arrange group, and in the Arrange group there is a Rotate, and I want to flip it. Let me go back and see what the instructions say. Flip it horizontally. So flip it horizontally. And then part E, apply the subtle effect teal accent 1 style. So in our styles, select the teardrop shape, and then in our styles for this, there will be a subtle effect accent 1. Now notice that these colors, again, these are our theme colors that we did back in step 1, and the colors will look different depending on what your theme is. This first one is, if I go up to the very heading, it's colored outline black, and then we have accent 1, accent 2, accent 3. Then down the accent 1 group, which happens to be teal for this theme, but it would be different on different theme. But it's always accent 1 here. There's colored fill accent 1, light 1 outline colored fill, teal accent 1, and I think this one is the subtle effect teal accent 1, which is what our instructions say to apply. Subtle effect teal accent 1. Use the smart guides to align the shape. Now I can see that there it is, and I have a smart guideline on the right margin and a smart guideline as a top margin. So I want to grab this shape and I want to move it. The lines appear in different places, but I want the one on the right to appear, and I want the one at the top to appear. And when I have both those lines appearing, I'm just going to let go of the cursor and leave it in that exact position. Step 6. With slide 3 still displaying, apply the picture style reflected rounded rectangle to the picture of the furniture. So on the bottom here we have this picture of the furniture, and with the furniture picture selected, the Format tab appears. And in the Format tab, I want to do the reflected rounded. Now the reflected rounded is, I have to remember where it's at on here, but I think it's not that one, that's bevel oval, but it does have a, it's not that one, is it? Bevel rectangle, reflected bevel. I'm trying to remember which one of these it is. Oh, it's one of these up here at the very top. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like the 5th one from the top. Reflected rounded rectangle. Make sure you select the right one. They all kind of have a little reflection effect and some rounding effect, but you must get exactly this reflected rounded rectangle style to get the step correct. So I select that, and it has that effect. I can see the little reflection at the bottom, and it's a little bit rounded on the edges. But the main thing is it has that specific name, reflected rounded rectangle. Step 7 says on slide 4, curators, modify the circle shape to the right of we are here. Okay, so on slide 4, curators, there is a arrow shape, we are here, and it points to a little circle, and I'm going to click on that little circle out there in California. Modify the circle shape to the right of we are here as follows. Change the fill of the circle to be light yellow background 2, darker 25%. So that means it'll be the background 2 group, and then we'll go down till we get the darker 25 part of that. It'll be the 3rd column and the 3rd row of the theme colors. So select the circle. With the circle selected, go into the Format tab. We're changing the color of this circle shape, and the 3rd column is background 2, and if I go down I get the light yellow background 2, darker 25%, which is what they tell us to select. Change the weight of the circle's outline to 1.5 points. So again, with the circle selected in the format group, I want to change the line thickness. So that's in the outline group. There is a weight option. And in the outline group, in the weight option, 1.5% is what we're selecting. With slide 4 still displaying, modify the animations as follows. Remove the animation from the picture of the map. So right now, in the animations pane, I'm going to click on the animation pane so that it shows up on the right here. I can see that there's this animation that currently happens. If I play from, that's the animation that's currently there. I'm going to delete that. So select it, and then I can right click and remove, or you can just hit the delete key and get rid of the animation. So now there's no animations on this, but we're about to add some animations. Apply the pulse emphasis animation to the New England callout shape. So if you select the New England callout shape, it's grouped with the line, so those are going together. That's good. I want to do the pulse animation. So with that selected in the animations group, I want to do pulse. And pulse doesn't show up on this first list, so I have to do the more option to find the pulse. And the pulse is here in the emphasis, I think. Make sure I'm doing the right one here. The pulse emphasis. Okay. And we find the pulse here in the first one in the emphasis list. And you kind of see what that does. It did a little, pulsation. Change the start setting of the pulse animation to be after previous. So for this select, I want it to start, pulling the arrow to the right, I want it to start not on clicking the mouse, but on after previous. So it'll automatically, as we have an animation before this, it'll occur as soon as that finishes. And the reason we're doing that is because we're about to use the animation painter to copy this animation, so they'll all have the same pulse effect and start one after the other. So copy the animation from New England to each of the following: New York, Chicago, Palm Springs, and We Are Here. So take the New England, and in the format group, in the advanced animation, there is an animation painter. So you can select that and apply it to New York. So New York is pulsating. And then I can repeat that. I can select that animation, apply it to Chicago. Select that, apply it to Palm Springs. And select that and apply it to We Are Here. And if I see all those now are one after the other, if I say play from, select the first one in the list and say play from, I can see that they're pulsating as we're moving through that. Increase the duration of the animation in the We Are Here arrow shape to be 1 second instead of the current size for further emphasis. So just for We Are Here, make sure just We Are Here is selected, and change the duration. It's only at ½ second, make it 1 second. And if I watch that again, I'll see that the pulsation lasts a little longer. For We Are Here, it lasts a whole second, twice as long as the others. On slide 5, featured furnishings. Insert the trademark symbol, and you can't see it very well, but it's the TM trademark symbol, immediately after Jarvie in the Jarvie chairs. So on slide 5, featured furnishings, immediately after Jarvie, I want to insert a trademark symbol. And I do that under the Insert tab. There is the Symbols option. And I pull that up, and I want to find the trademark, and there it is in the first row. I insert that, and inserts it, I close it, and I've got the trademark symbol there immediately after Jarvie in Jarvie chairs. On slide 6, specialty items. Use the content placeholder on the right to insert the video support NP PowerPoint 16.2a video.mp4 available for download from the website. So if you haven't already done so, go to the website, get the video, save it, don't open it, save it to your machine. Mine saves into the downloads folder. Yours will be different potentially on your machine, but I know where this is on my machine. So now when I want to come over and insert the video, I can select there, and then I can browse from my machine to the downloads folder, which is where I know this is saved at. And I'll select and then insert that video. Oops. With slide 6 still displaying, set the playback options for the inserted video as follows. Set the video to start automatically, set the video to rewind after playing, and change the volume to low. So with the video selected, we have some formatting options and some playback options. And in the playback options, we can set it to start automatically, rewind after playing, and the volume to low. And if we click it, we get the little animated duck there. I don't think the sound is on in this recording, so I don't think you could hear the sound just then, but the sound is quieter. If you change that volume from low to high or medium, you'll hear a change in the sound of the animated duck as it clicks around the screen. On slide 7, Marketing Success, use the content placeholder to insert a table with 2 columns and 4 rows, and then enter the data shown below. So slide 7, Marketing Success, insert a table with 2 columns and 4 rows, and then enter this data. Now this is a figure, so you cannot copy paste. You have to type in activity result. Then you have to type in sales events plus 15%. Then you have to type in design classes plus 2%. Tab to go to the next one. And refinishing classes, tab, and 4%, plus 4%. Okay. On slide 8, sales forecast, make sure I did these right. Sales events, design classes, refine classes. Okay. On slide 8, sales forecast, modify and format the table as follows. So apply the style medium, style 2, accent 1 in the table. So we just have to select the table, and in the table design, find the style medium, accent 2. It's called medium, style 2, accent 1. And I can see the little gray bars here tells us what's currently selected. We currently have medium style 3, accent 1. It's kind of close to A1. I think we just go up for medium style 2, accent 1. So it's in the medium group, over 2, down 2 in the medium group is the one that we're looking for. Resize the height of row 1 to be 6%. So place the cursor in row 1. Make sure it's inside row 1 somewhere. And then in the layout part, you can specify the height of the selected row. And add a 5th row at the bottom of the table containing the totals for year 1 and year 5 as shown here. Totals 440,000, 734,000. So I want to add a row below. So again, with the cursor in the last row, I want to, under the Table Tools Layout tab, there is an insert above, insert below, left and right. I want to say insert below where I have the cursor currently. So below what I had selected adds a 5th row, and I want total sales, and the prices are 440,000, or the amounts are not prices, those are totals, they're amounts, and 734. Step 14, on slide 9, interested in a franchise, apply the picture style snip diagonal corner white to the picture of the telephone. So on slide 9, interested in a franchise, select the picture here, and we want to apply a picture style of snip diagonal corner white. So again, that's not one of these first few that show up, so I have to do the more, and I want to find the snipped corners. So that's some rounded corners. That's not it. Here we have the snip corners right there. Snip diagonal corner white. So 2 of the 4 corners are snipped. If all 4 corners were snipped, it would look very Battlestar Galactica for those of you that are sci-fi fans. but we apply this snipped diagonal corner white. Step 15, apply the reveal transition from the subtle section of the transition gallery to all slides in the presentation. And I think that's a little poorly worded there, but I have to select every slide in the presentation. The easiest way to do that is in the Home tab to use the Select option and say Select All. I can see that all 9 slides are selected. And then with all 9 slides selected, I want to apply the reveal transition from the subtle section. So in transitions, there is the subtle section, and I want to do the reveal option. So I apply that, and reveal is applied to all of my slides. Now, a neat little thing here that you might not know about, if you just click on a slide, you don't see the transition. But if you click on the little transition arrow star to the left here, it'll show you the transition from slide 2 to slide 3, or the transition from slide 4 to slide 5. So you can see your transitions if you want to, or you can just select the slide and not have the, the 1 or 2 seconds it takes to do those transitions. But if you want to see the transitions, you can by clicking on these little arrows to the right. A nice little hint if you didn't know that. Now on slide 9 only, modify the transition as follows. Apply the rotate transition from the dynamic content in the transition gallery and change it so it rotates from the left and has a timing of 1.25. So on slide 9 only, I want to change the transition down here in the dynamic content to be rotate, I believe is what it was called. Yes, rotate. And I want it to rotate from the left, so just to the right, just in this effects option from the left. And I want it to be 1.25. Double check that. Yes, 1.25. So I can check that slide 8 is still using the old transition, but slide 9 is using that rotate transition from the left. Okay, in slide sorter view, our presentation should look like this. Let me change mine to slide sorter view, and I can see that it does kind of look like the figure in the instructions. Quick eyeball check, that looks good. So my instructions tell me to save my presentation, close it, exit PowerPoint, and then submit it. So I'm going back to my PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go ahead and exit out, and then I'm going to go to the SAM website and submit this for a grade. So I'll browse, have this file saved on the desktop. It's the NP2A. Make sure I get the correct one there. Submit it. Get the 3 check marks to let me know that I submitted the right file and the right format. And from those 3 check marks, I go over to the reports list, find my PowerPoint 4. Make sure if you have more than one submit, you're submitting the most recent one based on day and time. Look at the report. Open up that report. Should have a new slide added at the bottom, and hopefully we have a score of 100 out of 100 on that new slide, which we do. All right, thank you. Have a good day.